Hello Interweb! This week I bring you another movie recommendation, or rather recommendations. In honor of Leonardo DiCaprio finally winning an Oscar, I decided why not recommend people some Leonardo DiCaprio movies. I'm going to give you 3 recommendations of movies that star Leonardo DiCaprio. Don't worry, I'm not recommending Titanic, as I know that most of the world population has seen it already, and the fact that it comes on TV a lot. You may or may not have heard of these, that is okay. And if you haven't, I suggest you check them out. So let's get started. The first movie recommendation is Revolutionary Road. I own this on DVD because I own way too many movies. Based off the 1961 novel of the same name by Richard Yates, Revolutionary Road is about a couple, April and Frank. April is played by Kate Winslet and Frank is played by Leonardo DiCaprio, who both had big dreams of doing something big with their lives and something meaningful. But unfortunately, they got wrapped up in the suburban life of the mid-1950s. You know, owning a house, buying a car, having children, cat, dog, retirement fund, white picket fence type of thing. You know, you get it. The American dream. So in an attempt to escape the dullness of the average American family, they decide to follow their dreams of getting away from it all. Sadly, one of them begins to doubt the decisions they've made of this escape. Meanwhile, the other one struggles with the desire of still wanting adventure. Although while all of this drama is happening, life is making plans for them in other ways. Now, I really like this movie because while I was in college, I took many classes analyzing the lifestyles of husbands and wives in suburbia, especially during the 1950s and 60s. You'll see that this movie represents a lot of what was going on. Not everybody was happy, and a lot of people liked to put a smiling face over it. There are many books written about it, and there's many stories. And even if you watch a movie that was actually made in the 1950s, you'll see that this movie, obviously, since the book was written in 1961, it depicts a lot about what was hidden about the American culture, especially during this time when we like to look back at it and think, oh, everything was so perfect back then, when in reality, it really wasn't. If you want to know some other facts about it, the movie is directed by Sam Mendes. If that is really important to you, it's rated R, so if you're younger, this is probably not a subject for you. And it is an hour and 59 minutes. The next Leonardo DiCaprio movie that I recommend is Gangs of New York. Picture here, because I don't own it on DVD. In this movie, Leo plays Amsterdam Vallon, who is an Irish immigrant located in the 5 Points of New York City during the 1860s. Now, this story revolves around him trying to seek revenge for his father's murder. This movie stars a lot of great actors and a lot of well-known actors that some people may not consider great. I don't know. Here's a little history fact for you. A long time ago, before firefighters and policemen were considered our heroes of today, they were actually rivaling gangs. Kind of strange now how everything has shifted. Anyway, the story is about a brutal tale of survival and the desire to find a life, but not just any life, a safe life in New York for an Irish immigrant and other immigrants alike. I think this movie is pretty insightful. It's a lesson that heroes that we see today as police and firefighters actually started out as rivaling gangs that used to fight each other for survival in the early stages of America. If you want to know a little bit more about this movie, it's actually inspired by a book written by Herbert Ashbury of the same name. Also directed by Martin Scorsese. It's also rated R, and there's a lot of violence in this movie, so it may not be for a younger audience. And if you really care to know, this movie is 3 hours and 36 minutes long. Yep, it is a long one. If you can sit through Titanic, then you can sit through this movie. Especially since I think this movie is actually pretty cool. Last but not least, I am recommending Catch Me If You Can. Now, I own this on DVD also because I love this movie. This is probably my favorite Leonardo DiCaprio movie. This movie is actually based off a book, another book, written by Frank Abagnale, who is a real person and the character of this movie. Now, he is an FBI informant. I think that's what you call him, right? Who at a very young age conned millions of dollars out of big companies in the 1960s. I mean, this kid, he was a kid when he was doing this, barely at the end of his teens when he was doing all of this. And I find it really amazing that he took this, I don't want to say opportunity, I'm not saying this is a good thing that what he did, but I think it's really incredible that a teenager did as much as he did. Leo stars as Frank, and Tom Hanks stars as the FBI agent who spends many years trying to catch this kid. He has not only committed check fraud numerous times, but he also poses as these professional employees, and people believe him for so many years. It's insane. But more about this movie is that it's rated PG-13. It's also directed by Steven Spielberg, and it's a little bit more on the longer side also. It's 2 hours and 21 minutes, but trust me, it is a good movie and you should really watch it. So those are the 3 Leonardo DiCaprio movies I think you should watch. If you like these Leonardo DiCaprio recommendations, please click thumbs up, subscribe, and leave a comment below whether or not you've seen these movies, what you think about them, or if there are other Leonardo DiCaprio movies that should be recommended. I would love to hear what you have to recommend me. I hope you guys have a good week, and I will see you next time. Bye! When he got back, he would discover and be like, who made this? Oh my god, it's amazing. And then I would, people are driving their loud ass cars outside, like really? You know, I'm trying to film.